And I believe we're live. Good evening. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to all of you in the chat and welcome to tonight's Headless Reseller. We've gone with Headless Reseller tonight. So I can see I've got plenty of people in the chat already. And the good thing about being Headless Reseller, of course, is you're not smothering underneath a double duvet, unlike poor old Steve back in the beginning there. So I'm going to say hello to the chat. First in was Daryl. He got here at 6:45, so he was good and early. Well done, Daryl. Started with his questions already. I'm ignoring that. You can't ask questions when people aren't there. That's cheating. Welsh Wonder Nia, Sarah Resells, Double Karma, Laura Eccleston Siebel, Art Journey UK, Kay Gilson, Catherine McConnell, Jem Sink, Peter Raisin. Hi, Peter. Hope you got over your hangover now. It has been nearly a week, so you should have done. Karin, Laney, Chris Tyler, Crispy, and Leanne Hill. I think that's everyone. Oh, and Craig the Monocle, Laurel, Billy B. Karin says it's too easy. Karin thinks she's guessed tonight's reseller already. James Martin says, is it Auntie Sue? You can't just come in with guesses like that. I will disqualify you. So you have to ask questions first, otherwise it's absolutely no fun. Jones in, she's always flipping Mandy. Kirsten's Curiosities, Mike Dando, I don't know if I said Mike already. And Daryl's first question is, do you sell jewelry? Yes. Okay, so tonight's masked reseller or headless reseller does sell jewelry. Hi, Gashead 64. If you do think you know, at least hold on for a little while and let's play a little while longer. Billy B says, is it Batman? I'm Batman. Natalie says she's Batman. Natalie in the background says she's Batman. We're all Batman. Intelligent Zombies in. So yeah, tonight's headless reseller, what we've established so far is that he or she does sell jewelry. Ashley Carruthers is in. Lainey says, I think I know too by body movements. Whose body movements have you been studying, Lainey Ray, you dirtbag? South London Reseller is in. Antoinette Daly. Laura D says, Lady Lolly says, have you got any pets? Yes, okay. And, it's scrolled off again. Laurel says, are you female? No. See, James was sure it was Auntie Sue, but I'm pretty sure Auntie Sue's a girl. She's always looked like a girl whenever I've looked at her. Ashmag is there. Jones says, are you a man? Well, we've narrowed it down from not female, so the master reseller believes he is male. Okay. If the master reseller is suddenly unsure. Karen says she won't ask any questions because she's so sure she's guessed already. Kirsten says, do you have any children? No. Okay. And the Monocle says, shimmy those shoulders, headless reseller. Don't shimmy too much. Your face might appear. Don't get tricked. Chris Taylor says, question, has the mystery person got a sexy voice? No, apparently the mystery person is not sure. We'll get somebody else's opinion in a minute. Billy B says it's Nick. I'm pretty sure it was Nick last week. It could be Nick again. No, apparently it's not Nick. It'd be amazing if it was Nick 2 weeks running, wouldn't it? Imagine if I just hadn't let him go home, if he was just still sat there. Sell It Bang says, is it Professor Lex under the Kale Lex box? Not Professor Lex. Jackie Fun Stuff is in. Hi, Jackie. Mandy says, are you tight? That's a bit of a leading question, Mandy. You'd need to ask you'd need to ask someone who'd been there, wouldn't you? Alan P is in. Alan P suggests it might be Daily Jessie. Are you Daily Jessie? No. James Martin thinks you might be Andrew Nolan. No, not Andrew Nolan either. Darryl says, are you young? Well, again, that's a very yeah, yes or no. That's a very subjective question. I mean, I'm young-ish compared to my grandmother, who's dead. Kirsten says, do you like Lego? And yes, maybe. And Ashley says, do you like spending money? Gashead says, do you love to fill a bag? Maybe. Joan says, do you sell packaging? Yes. Lady Ollie says, are you hairy? No. Not always. Death by Glamour says, is it ads? It's not ads. Peter May says, are you from Bristol? And Flipping Pains was also coming with, do you live in the Southwest? Darryl says, is it eclectic or electric? No idea. Billy thinks it must be Nick because he's watching last week's show. And South London Reseller and Karen have both come in with, is it Little Gay Josh? It is. Right, so Little Gay Josh is currently underneath his desk. So he's got to disconnect so that he can get back into his chair and reconnect his camera above the desk. So we'll be back in a second. Rowan's in. Hi, Rowan. Chris Tyler says, "Have you got a big microphone?" Absolutely. Mandy says it's the boy. Leanne says, "Oh God, he's offended." Who's offended? Oh, James Martin was guessing it was Darren Payne. Who's Darren Payne? I've got Derek Payne or Richard Payne, but Darren Payne's a new one. Jones says, "Do you like gravy?" See, we'd have got him with then, wouldn't we? We'd have known with "Do you like gravy?" It didn't take long to unmask him. He will be back in a second. He's just got to come out from under the desk and reconnect his camera, and then we'll have him back with us. The monocle said he lies. He is hairy. And Randy's next question was going to be, "Do you need a haircut?" Joe Morris says, "Oh, I missed it. Is it Lex?" It's always Lex. So yeah, so Josh, it is Josh, and he will be back with us hopefully in a minute, providing he can work out which wire goes where. In the meantime, it's just me. Karen says it was the shoulder shimmies that did it. Does he shoulder shimmy often? Have I missed this? I've not been paying attention if he's been shoulder shimmying all over the place. Is he famous for it? Have you been watching him on the dance floor? Oh, I'm just waiting for him to reconnect. Joan says she thought he'd come out years ago. He's definitely well out.
Hello.
Okay, have you unmuted? Lovely. You can put your name back. Or you can carry on being Mr. Question.
I'll be Mr. Question. Are we live? We good?
We are live. You're back. You're back in the game.
That was Hello. Hello. I'm gonna take this off. Oh, that's better. Hide the junk. Just hide all this.
So Josh has very kindly agreed to step in at the last minute. I've tried to save the people that I know you guys know I'm friends with for later on down the journey, so that they're not too obvious. You know what I mean? But tonight's guest wasn't very well, and so I had to send Josh a message going, "Help! I need a master reseller."
And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but we did it.
Because that necklace is one that you've got for sale, apparently.
It's not for sale because it's broken, so it's not.
Break it?
I think one of the beads are smashed or something.
You can probably sell it with a smashed bead. Lex sells broken stuff all the time.
I'll send it to Lex.
Yeah, why not? So yeah, apparently Karen says you move your shoulders a lot.
Do I?
Okay, you didn't know. Apparently you're a wiggly shoulder mover.
But why did Karen notice that out of everything else? Do you watch my shoulders, Karen?
Apparently from afar.
Do you like the shoulder?
She's a fan of the shoulder. Don't go for a Bardo top. You'll send her right over the edge.
Oh God.
Lex is in. She says, "Is it me?" Yes, Lex, it's you. And the man Craig says Lex needs a haircut.
I do. Honestly, it's terrible now. I've given up, Trump.
Claire. It is. You do look rather well thatched. I think is a.
Well thatched. I have really sort of luscious hair, so it's very, very heavy and thick. So that's at least it's not falling out.
I've got
or going grey, or I might just go bald.
So I've got clippers now. So what I could do is I could attach the clippers to the end of a broomstick, and you could come and sit at the end of the garden path, and I could
2 meters away. Yeah.
I can't see
that could work. Yeah. Get the weed whacker on it. Just shimmy that around.
Yeah, absolutely. Lainey says your tash needs waxing, Lex. Good job you've got those wax strips.
It looks odd if you grow this out and not this out, so you kind of have to even it up a bit.
It just looks odd, mate. Is this? You're not making it better by having the beard and moustache to go with it, honestly.
There's no helping me at the moment, honestly. I've just lockdown is getting to me.
I'm managing to keep my beard under control, so I don't see why you shouldn't as well.
Sorry, I should have made myself look better for the interview.
No, I very much appreciate you being here.
It's fine.
So, how are you coping with the whole missing your friends and not being able to spend time with us and being bullied in person situation?
Well, obviously, I'm missing you and Lex and everyone else, and I'm missing the car boots a lot more than I was expecting. Fill a bag is an addiction, okay? Fill a bag is life. I need fill a bag.
I could just bring a bag of shit round and put it on your doorstep, and you could leave me out empty. That'd be fine.
Yeah, I'll leave you out £3 for a fill a bag. You chuck whatever you want in it, I'll have it.
Oh, don't tempt me. Do not tempt me. No, lad, I've got this. Has been listed for 15 years. You can have that.
This is covered in dust. I'll have that.
Lex says you're looking more left wing.
Left wing. Oh, I look anything in lockdown.
It
But
like
no, lockdown started off great. It's not been an issue. Dad's shielding because of his health conditions. Blah 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 blah. So I haven't really been leaving the house. I've been doing post to the parcel post box. And now I'm doing Hermes collection as a post, like an actual letterbox up the road. So I'm walking there. Haven't really done anything else, But I think that's purely because I'm a very antisocial person. I like being on my own. I like the social side of my life. I'm very used to just spending my day on the computer. It's not an issue for me. So that has helped me a lot. But I think for a lot of people that aren't used to doing that or being alone all day, it's probably a bit more difficult.
Yeah. Lex is saying you can have half my house for £5. You can have the app with Anthony in it for £2.50.
Oh, I'll have the garage, Lex. That'd be like a treasure mine. So
no, it's my house she's selling. You're not her own.
Oh, your house, Carla.
Yeah. Sorry. Lainey says you might spend a tenner when the car boots come back. I don't think Lainey knows you at all. No. If anything, I think your spending might go down because you'll be out. Where we were just like greasing you up and getting you used to parting with it a bit. I think you'll have seized up.
Well, I've just spent a load on these clothes boxes, so now I've got to pull back a lot. I've got to restrict my spending for at least another year now. So
yeah, tell them how much you've just spent on stock.
I have just spent £180 on 3 boxes of clothing.
Silence or half the chat passes out in shock. Yeah,
that's more money than I spent all last year in car boots, probably.
Sad thing is, that's probably true.
That's what I mean. It's probably true. I spent more money on 3 boxes of clothing than I did over an entire year of car boots.
Car boot is never more than £5.
Never more than £5.
You don't always go. Some weeks you miss going. So let's assume that you went 40 weeks a year instead of 52.
That's £120. No, 150-ish then.
200. 40 weeks. If you spent a £5 every week, it'd be 200. But you don't spend a £5 every week. There's been weeks when you've only spent £2.
There's weeks where I've only done fill a bag.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So that 180 probably is more than your yearly spend at the car boot sale.
So technically, I've got no money left for the rest of the year. So you won't be seeing me at the car boots car.
That's all right. I could do without the competition, mate. I'm very worried about you as my competition at the car boots.
After all that China, the Lego, yeah, I don't do clothes or anything else, so we're good.
Yeah. Jones says it's good. Oh, I'm sitting down all the shop. Craig says he bets Heather checked her account a few times before sending.
Well, no, the funny thing is, I sent Heather the first lot of payment and it never went through. Because I checked my account, I was like, Heather, it's not showing. Have you received the money? And she's like, I haven't received it.
Money, what's going on here? Stop that payment. So
it rebounded back into my account and it never actually paid Heather. So I was like, oh my God, I haven't paid you. So I sent her the full lot.
You literally don't know how to send money out because you've never done it before.
It did take me a while to find the button to click this, send payment, and then you have to type in the details. It did take me a while to do that. They do hide that quite well.
I'm loving the idea of you trying to force this finger to do it and this hand trying to hold it.
Because you know how it filled in the
120 on jewelry during the lockdown just on eBay.
Oh,
and Leon says you're normally talking pence, not pounds.
Yeah, so when you fill in the PayPal stuff, it does the pence first. So you do like 150, £1.50, and you add an extra zero, and it's like, oh God, £15, never zero, 150. Oh God, here we go. The sad thing is, it's true. I don't like spending money, and now my car's broken, so that's even more of a joy.
Never mind.
I know.
So the thing is, Josh just sold me. It's just sold me. Didn't sell me anything. That's not true. Just showed me the spreadsheet of what he had in his first box from Heather, and I've just basically told him to bump all his prices up by about 50% minimum. Because he's like, oh yeah, this is a Hugo Boss t-shirt. I'll put that on at £5. I'm like, what are you doing?
Carla's like, Josh, just double everything. Just copy it and double it, and then you've got the right price. I'm like, okay, thanks, Carla. This is why I need you, because I need this guidance.
Go high, you can always come down. Yeah, and put offers on. I love best offer. I know it's a mixed. People, some people hate it. It's a bit Marmite, and some people love it. But I love best offer. I put everything on it more than I hope to get for it, and then I send offers out as soon as I'm able to, and I accept most offers that come in, unless they're downright rude, you know what I mean? If I've got it on at 15 quid and you offer me 75p, we're not going to get anywhere with this, you know?
If I do an offer, I usually put like a minimum amount that I'm happy with. So if they send that, I'll automatically accept it, or any higher it'll accept. So yeah.
Yeah, I do that even when an offer, the offer comes through on your phone, it says offer received, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, when I open this, if it's at least X amount, I'm going to, I've got a live ka-ching. If it's at least X amount, I'll take it. So Lex says you and her are opposites. She loves spending money. She's really struggling at the moment, bless her.
I like the whole thought about buying a new car and everything is just scary. It's like, I need a breather.
You said you're considering leasing. What's made you consider that?
The fact that it's kind of a business expense, I can claim a little bit of that for work. It's a new car, brand new. It has free repair if something breaks and it's not my fault. I get a new car at the end of the 4 years, so it's I've only had that yellow car, which is 18 plus years old now, and it's always had issues. So I haven't actually had a nice car. I've never treated myself to a nice car. So I'm torn between leasing a nicer car or buying like a almost new car with a couple of years warranty left on it.
Yeah.
So they're the
what
choices.
sort of budget? How much do you think you can bear to part with if you went out and actually bought rather than leasing?
Well, I'm looking at a Hyundai i20 and they're £7,000, which makes me so sad to say.
What year would that be?
2018, 2017.
Yeah, it really is practically new.
Yeah,
then.
practically new, like under 20,000 miles on the clock. But that's going to last me at least 10 years or more. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. If I get something that's more newer with a little bit higher price tag, I'll have that reassurance of it's new. It's not going to break on me suddenly when I'm doing stuff.
Sorry. What stuff do you think you do?
Well, I've been dropping people home and it's broken down before. I've been
How
like
many
stuck in
miles
the middle of
a year
anywhere.
do you put on your car?
I do about 7,000 a year, 6,000 a year.
Very
I don't travel outside of Bristol. It's got like a GPS. It cuts off if you leave Bristol.
The engine cuts out.
It just cuts out. Just, no, I'm not doing any more than this. Don't you dare turn around.
Joan says Lex should consider calling off the wedding. She doesn't see that your two spending styles are gonna gel in any way.
Oh, but I could support Lex's spending. So in a way,
you don't think you could? In all honesty, even if you and Lex decided you'd have one of these marriages of convenience, because I presume that you're not going to want to bonker in every room in the house. You might.
Maybe like an open relationship marriage.
Assume that you decided you were going to have one of these companionable marriages. I think you would have to have completely separate finances, because I think within a week she would break you. If you had
I'd check my bank account and there'd be nothing there.
And watch the money going out on a daily basis as Lex spends it, I think within a week you'd have a nervous breakdown.
I'd be trying to like refund it or like like a chargeback, unknown payment.
Okay, so where Rowan says, Josh, don't lease a car after you pay all that money, you have nothing, and that's my point of view on it. Really,
yeah.
I feel like you don't own anything at the end of it.
So at the end of the day, if I lease a car, it's going to cost me the exact same amount, pretty much, as just buying an almost new car, and then it's mine.
You won't have any, and you won't own anything at the end of that. So
yeah, and it has a couple of years warranty left, and my stepdad had the point of, after lockdown, these car places are going to want to sell cars. Their sales have obviously dropped over the last few months.
There's a cash buyer, you've got a bit of.
I might be able to get a few more years warranty. I might be able to get some breakdown cover thrown in. So I might be able to negotiate a better deal for me, which is probably what I'm going to do in the end.
Yeah. Leon says, if she said subtract, but I think she meant divide. Subtract 7,000 by 10 years, not really that expensive. I think she meant divide. So 700 quid a year. Yeah. Alan P says Alan P says, what make and model is your current car?
It's a Fiat Punto. It's yellow, and it's lovely in yellow, like the one in the In-Betweeners movie. The one with the wrong coloured door.
Yeah,
but it has the right coloured door.
because Jay lost his door or something. I can't remember. A long time ago. Yeah, Gashead Steve says he's got a Honda i20, I think he just said, but an old one. It's a great car. Karen's telling me there's nothing wrong with being a homebody because I'm taking the piss out of you for never going anywhere. The thing is, Karen, I take Josh places in Bristol, and he's like, I didn't know this was here. And I'm like, how long have you lived in Bristol? He's like, all my life. I'm like, how have you never been outside of your own garden? Lisa J says, buy one that's done 20 to 30k, 3 or 4 years old, not much appreciation then.
So that's the failed MOT. It's got 7 things wrong with it now, and then about 8 things that needs doing within the next year.
Any minute
so
now.
yes, like an oil leak, but not excessive. Brake discs would need replacing soon. Coil springs corroded. I need all brand new tires, brand new shock absorbers. So it's just money, 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 and it's just like it's an 18-plus-year-old car. Why am I going to spend £600 fixing it?
Yeah,
just treat myself to a new car.
The way I do it, I think you've just about had your money's worth out of it.
Yeah, it cost me £300 from my brother 3 years ago, so I've done really well out of it.
You go on holiday 20 minutes from base. Do you really need a car at all?
No, I could get a bus.
Joan says if you had to support Lex, your hair would fall out, and Lex says she would ruin you in every way.
And that is exactly what I like about you, Lex.
She's so fucking shy and backwards and coming forward. Lisa J says the older the car, better the spec for the money. Leanne says Lex is spending on kale alone would crush you.
But I quite like kale, so I would join Lex in that.
No, she doesn't share. She doesn't share a kale.
No, but just buy double, so it's fine.
Daisy May, though, on the other side of the coin, says, Josh, we accounted what it costs over 10 years, including maintenance, and decided it's better to lease new and change every 2 years. Yeah.
But I still pay a lot of money for my insurance. I'm still £900, £800 for my insurance. So until that comes down a bit, I still think buying might end up cheaper. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Rowan also says, find out the dealer's cost for a car and offer £500 more. So whatever the dealer paid for it, and then offer £500 more. I don't know how you'd get that information out of them, though. It's not what they like to tell you, is it?
I guess you just go for a better version of the car you want, but give them the price of the lowest one they have listed.
And Chris Tyler says, sell it on eBay, you'll get your £180 back. In fairness, you could probably sell your car and still get money for it. I mean, I've done quite well out of selling cars that I literally don't think are worth keeping anymore. Other people are quite happy to buy them and put the money in. So.
Oh yeah, if someone wants to buy it and fix it, I think it cost for us to do ourselves you need to go to the garage to do some welding, but I think it was about £400.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to do that, they're more than welcome to. But there's like a brand new battery and stuff in there, so there's some scrap value to it, surely.
Lisa says she works on the basis that if it's under $1,200 a year in depreciation and repairs, you're onto a winner, e.g. a 6k car has paid for itself if nothing major goes wrong in 5 years. Sam's going straight to the point. Don't be tight, treat yourself.
I need to treat myself. I haven't for years.
Lex
a new car would be good.
All about kale now. She's like, kale is mine. Kath Palmer says, hello, I'm late. Was the mask reseller revealed quickly? Yes, it didn't take long for them to work out it was Josh. Apparently his shoulders gave it away.
Yeah, apparently Karen likes
my it's the way it shimmies.
Well, I thought I put the necklace on because they might think, oh, it's Lex jewelry, or they might think it's Auntie Sue or something. But no, they knew it was me. Yeah,
it was immediate. Like I said, Josh jumped in at the last minute, so he's covering for my other planned guest who's not very well. Shiv's in. Oh, Shiv, I have had a message from Jackson's mum. Jackson is delighted with his parcel. Thank you very much. Jackson would like to send you a picture that he's drawn of your dog. If that's okay, can you send me your address to forward on? Hope that all made sense. And Kath Palmer says, Lex, have you morphed into Josh? So, we're supposed to be doing Master Reseller, and what we've done is talked about Josh's shit car. So,
you know me taking over as usual.
You've seen the show. You know what's coming, don't you?
Yes. Questions.
Okay.
Would I meet you first?
Yes. You and I are stuck on a desert island. You need to remember that it's a very, very plain, miserable ass desert island. It's just one lump with a palm tree, and you and I stood next to it like this, basically. How long before you eat me?
Is there any rum?
There's no rum. There's nothing. There's just you,
okay,
me,
so rum's
and a tree.
Gone. Just you, me, and a tree.
Yeah. It has to be a tree so that I can run round it while Benny Hill music plays after while you chase me trying to kill me.
I couldn't see myself eating someone even in desperate circumstances, so I probably just starved to death, to be honest. So
In that case, mate, I'll eat you because I'm not letting it go to waste.
That's fine. You can eat me dead or alive, as long as as long as it's pain free, it's fine.
Oh, Chris Tyler said she says I thought it was going to be Heather, and that's why I asked if they had a sexy voice. Chris Tyler does not fancy you and your voice, apparently.
That's fine. Craig does.
Lisa says, almost forgot to say thank you for delivering the plants.
You're very welcome, Lisa. I apologise for forgetting a tomato. I felt so bad. I drove home and there was just a single tomato plant in the boot, and I'm like, no, I forgot a tomato. It's hiding in the corner.
So what have you done? Just put it in the bin or what?
No, Lisa very kindly said, don't worry about it. Otherwise, I would have dropped it back over to her.
Okay, so we've established you're not going to eat me, and I might as well eat you, so that neither of us. So no point is both dying, is there?
No.
Plus, I don't think you could kill me. I just don't think you could. I think you would come at me threateningly, and I go, "What the fuck do you think you're doing?" Well, maybe not.
Sit down.
You'd have to kill me in my sleep, and I don't think I'm going to sleep very well on the desert island.
You might have a point. I don't think no. Yeah, I think you would knock me out first if there was a fight.
Daryl's got a question. He wants to know what would be your ideal job if you weren't a reseller.
Oh. Nothing.
Just want to be a gentleman of leisure.
I wanted to be a chef, and some of you know I was a chef for two years. I was a chef in one of Bristol's best restaurants here. 2 rosettes, which is like almost a Michelin star level, so very high end, very expensive, very bourgeois, very posh. And I loved it, and then it got just too much, and I couldn't handle the 14-hour days and waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning and not getting home till 2 o'clock at night and doing it every day of the week, over and over and over again. If I could go back into being a chef and it wasn't those stupid hours and it wasn't that much hard work, I would probably be a chef again.
You could always open one of those little instead of it being a restaurant, they call it a dinner club. And basically you only have 6 covers. On any one night, you only have 6 covers, basically, and you choose the menu. So they don't come in and tell you what they want off the menu.
Mm-hmm.
They come in and you say, "This is it. This is what we're doing tonight." And
we did that a few times, and it worked really well.
They charge a fortune for them. They charge an absolute fortune for those things, and people go, "Okay."
We did it we mostly did it for all the special occasions. Like New Year's Eve was like £120 per person, and that was like a 7-course meal. And they didn't know what they were getting. They just sat there. It was like vegetarian, vegan, or fish. You pick. We serve you food. Job done.
Yeah.
So that's really easy because there's no pressure. Because when I was a chef, I was in charge of, believe it or not, I was in charge of all of breakfast, and that was 12 dishes. I was in charge of starters. That was 5 dishes. I was in charge of desserts, another 5. Petit fours, that's 4 dessert dishes. At one point we had a cake bar, so that was about 5 different cakes that needed to be on every single day. I had to do an amuse-bouche, like a soup. I had to do like 30 or 40 dishes were my responsibility, and the owner, who was also a chef, had 5. So yeah, it's just a lot of hard work.
See? The trick is not to be an employee.
Yeah, the trick is to be the boss and do the 5 dishes and let your employees do the 30-something dishes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't moan.
It was going off together.
It was a good experience.
Craig says he thinks him and Lex will be a power couple, but again, the spending scares him a bit.
Oh, Craig earns enough money from all his really nice Instagram posts.
He does, yeah. Shiv says, question, would Josh eat me if I were a man, Carla? Would you eat me if I was a bloke?
No.
It's not just that you don't fancy me because I'm feminine. It's not just.
No, it's not that. No.
I don't think no. I'm definitely female, but I don't think I'm what people think I'm feminine. I'm not girly.
Not girly. No, you're not into all your flowers and
subjects were at school.
Oh, favorite subjects. I loved history.
In charge of all the kale.
I loved history. I took it for a GCSE and I failed it because I wasn't interested in the actual qualification. I just loved learning about the past, and we did all the war and the Cold War and stuff. And I really enjoyed that. That was great. When I did my A levels, I did business. Again, I didn't want to do business, but I had to do something, so I picked that, and I love that as well. It's great learning about business and how things operate, and it's actually coming really helpful now, surprisingly, as a reseller. So I would say history and business are definitely things I enjoy, and then cooking, which is still a hobby, it's still a job kind of thing.
See, learning cooking at school is nothing like learning to cook, though, is it?
Oh God, no.
I mean, all right,
No.
fair enough. I was at school a long time before you were, but I remember our first cookery lesson at school being making hot chocolate. Our second cookery lesson was baked apples. Now, for anyone
it's similar.
Bake an apple, you take an apple and you bake it, and pretty much that's it. That's
So even in A level, so it was a level 3 diploma in food science and nutrition, we were still learning how to poach fish. We were still learning how to cut and defillet and debone a whole chicken, and how to fillet a fish. So all the basic stuff. It's still not very fancy. It's still all the bog standard basics that everyone should know. But that's an A level, mind, and they're still teaching you that.
Yeah. Okay, Joan wants to know, do you cook for yourself now?
Well, as I'm with Dad, it's usually he cooks what he wants and I just eat it. I'm not a fussy eater. I'll eat anything. But on the weekends when he's not here, apart from gravy, don't like gravy. But when he's not here on the weekends, I do cook for myself. It's mostly simple things. I quite like just simple, basic food. Today I cooked fried garlic noodles with soy sauce, and they were nice. So I like experimenting with different things.
Yeah, you had a pot noodle, didn't you?
No, I actually did my own. I got the wok out and some noodles and some soy sauce, garlic, butter, spring onion, stuff like that. So I do like to cook and actually like make nice food. To me, food should be good. Food should be something you enjoy. It shouldn't be boring, basic, and bland.
Lisa's got a suggestion. She says, could you be a mobile dinner party chef when it all goes back to normal? See, I would do that. I'd go, right, I'm having a dinner party. I'm not cooking for it. In you come. Although you've got the drawback of cooking in other people's kitchens all the time then, and all their stuff doesn't work and is in the wrong drawer.
Yeah, you'd have to bring all your own stuff and your own knives. And
yeah.
There are people that do food prep. So they go into your house on like a Monday, they batch cook all of your food for the week, and they chuck all in the fridge, and they get paid stupid money to do that. I wouldn't mind doing that.
Yeah.
Because I think they get paid £100 or £200 a week to go into someone's house and cook a week's worth of food, and that's it. And you don't have to do any of the washing up. They buy all the food, you just cook it to what they want, chuck it in the fridge.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Or maybe
if I had the money, that's something I would pay for.
Like batch cooking.
Yeah. If I had the disposable income, that is something I would pay for, because I don't particularly enjoy cooking. I can cook perfectly well, but don't particularly enjoy it. I much prefer picking up a menu and choosing. That's what I like doing.
Yeah, you're not cooking it. It's delivered to your door and it's like ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do miss cooking. It's still something I enjoy doing.
Ashley says, if you could be a dish of food, what would you be, and would it have gravy on it?
If I could be a dish of food.
Yeah.
Oh God, chocolate cake. I really like a nice bit of chocolate fudge cake, warmed. Oof.
With some whipped cream.
Ice cream, preferably.
No gravy.
No gravy. Custard, anything.
Oh, that dessert you had at the pub that day that was a pie inside a cake?
Oh, a pie in a cake. Like, who the hell comes up with that? I'm going to stick a pie in the middle of a cake.
It's a cherry pie inside a chocolate cake.
Yeah, literally, like they've just got a cherry pie, slapped it in some chocolate cake batter, and chucked it in the oven.
And yet you ate it.
It was quite nice, to be honest. I'm not going to knock it. It was quite good.
Gashead says, what's your favourite part or thing about Bristol?
We have some really nice beauty spots. So the Seven Bridges, I love. I go there quite a lot. That's technically all I travel to is the Seven Bridges.
Never been anywhere.
No, but it's kind of close to a lot of other places. So obviously, like Wales is only over the bridge. You've got Bath down the road. You can go down to Exeter, Cornwall. It's not.
I mean, you don't, but you can.
I can. It's quite centralised in a way, if you think about it. Bristol is kind of in the middle of most things, and
yeah, I must admit, I think Bristol's an excellent location. We're very get-atable from other places, whatever. I like the fact that we are southerly and we get decent weather, you know.
And we miss a lot of the bad weather because of where we are.
Sorry?
we miss a lot of the bad weather because where
Yeah.
we are as well. It all goes over to Wales, so Lex gets all the bad weather and we get good stuff.
I'm going to mute myself a minute so you don't have to hear this. There's a chance that some of you still heard it, even with the mute button on.
I could see your voice going. that was quite a scream, quite a yell.
Lainey says, question, when are you and Craig going to be official?
Never.
And Rowan says, what about a takeout cart or van with a limited menu?
It's just there's a lot of
work.
There's a lot of work to go into that, and there's a lot of rules and regulations you got to jump through, and it costs a lot of money, and it's just like a lot of faff. Like, if I could just buy a food van and go and park up somewhere, great, but it takes ages to get all the paperwork and stuff filled in, and to get the environmental health out to check it, and you have to apply for a licensed spot to go and set up. And I wouldn't mind having an ice cream van though. Imagine that, just selling like Mr. Whippies off the back of a truck. I'd end up eating half of it, but I don't mind.
I've missed loads of chat. The chat's from but at some point Rowan said she wishes your microphone didn't cover half your face. There we go. And she says, how tall is it? Because you're looking short, the microphone looks massive.
No, it's on a boom stand.
Fandra says her first cooking lesson with tea and toast. And Lainey had baked an apple in the first year and exploded because she forgot to stab it. There you go. It's not as simple as you think. Lisa says, what are your top 5 things to look for at car boots?
Oh.
No prices, cheap shit, rubbish, fill a bag.
And nothing. Favorite thing to look for is nothing.
The exit. Come on, top 5.
Should I separate into what I look for in fill a bag and then what I look for in everywhere else? Would that give people a better idea of?
Because you walk around with blinkers on, but do go on.
So fill a bag. When I'm doing fill a bag, I mostly look for pottery, china, and glass. If it's got a name on it or it's got a marking on it, it goes in the bag. I look at it later. Obviously, if it's just check it's not broken. Most of the time, that's studio pottery. No, like I don't have anything to hand, but like something like this, like that sort of stuff. Just really rustic, artisan-looking stuff. So that's a Tremar coffee mug. That stuff I've done really well with recently. I don't know why, but it's flying out the door. Studio pottery is doing quite well. I also look for just the little things that I can bundle up. So if I see some like brand new McDonald's toys, I chuck them in. I've done like random blocks of Duplo, Lego. It's mostly China in fill a bag for me though. That's generally, I can get it in bulk. I don't know what I'm grabbing. I can pick things up I wouldn't usually pay for, so I can learn the name. A lot of the stuff I chuck in, I don't even sell because I just grab it to look at the name to see if it's worth researching. So fill a bag, mostly China. Everywhere else, I try and keep an open mind, but Carla's going to say I don't. I try and keep my head open to look for anything and everything. You know, the bog standard stuff like mugs I do quite well in fill a bag. So coffee mugs, you know, comforters and kids' toys, just the bread and butter stuff.
Le Creuset pots.
Le Creuset pots. Carla doesn't like me stealing. Haven't seen any for a while though, so well, we haven't used the car boot for a while, but you get there at 7 o'clock sharp. I get there at like 10:30. So, so yeah, bread and butter stuff. So toys, china, pottery, but it's mostly on the store stuff I know. I don't really take any risks or gambles. So if I know what it is and I know I've sold it, I'll grab it. I don't like taking risks for stuff that I don't know.
And we're talking at any price here. So I'd be like, just buy that. It's 50p. And you'd be like, oh, no, 50p, no.
About £1 maximum.
I can fill a bag for 50p. And I'm like, yes, but buy it, Josh. Trust me. Look at the spot.
I don't spend usually more than £1 per item.
Ever.
And I mean, I think the most I spent is £5 for 2 Hornby coffee cups. And that's it.
Hornsey.
Hornsey
is
the arabesque, if that's the Hornsby ones. Hornsey. Hornby
is trains. Hornsey is pottery.
Hornsey, there we go.
Okay, Joan wants to know if you could come back in a different era in the past, which would it be?
in the past.
Yeah. Bear in mind he's a Thatcherite, so he'd probably like to come back under Thatcher. I'd like you to come back under Thatcher. I'd like you to have a nice long blast of living during the Thatcher years and then come back and then we'll have that conversation. That's what I like.
I thought that was going to come up, Carla. You go back to live through it and then we'll talk. No.
And then we'll talk.
as weird as it sounds, and it might be a bit shocking to people, but the war, I think, was a very interesting period to live through. And I think, I'm going to say us younger people these days, because I'm only 21, but that to me is young. Us kids these days don't really understand just how hard that period was in life. And I think that might be a good time to step back to and realize how better things are now than they were back then, and just how much people went through. So maybe the war, period of the war, or maybe just after the war, to see, you know, how things rebuilt. I can't think of anything else. Maybe back to when we weren't industrialized and it was still fields and, you know,
medieval.
Yeah, like medieval times, you know, like Vikings and Anglo-Saxon kind of period.
You know, basically in those days, you worked all day to stay alive. You literally got up and worked on staying alive until it was time to go to sleep again.
The strongest people survived and the weakest died. That was how it worked. It's very ruthless back then.
Be buggered, matey.
Yeah.
Okay. Dal says, "What was your first profit that made you smile? For example, a big profit. What's the first one that made you go, yes, I'm a proper reseller?"
The Le Creuset utensil pot that I stole from Carla, and then when we were in the car. Right. So if you haven't heard this story, me and Carla every now and then we walk around the car boot together, like we do because we're best friends now. Technically, we occasionally walk around the car boot together. And chit chat, and Carla points things out, and we, you know, just have a great time. She was chatting to the stall owner. I swooped in, grabbed the Creuset utensil pot. I think I paid £3 for it. I can't remember now. I listed it the next day. I think a few days after that, we were going over to see Lex. It sold in the car whilst Carla was driving, and I literally rubbed it in her face for the whole journey. And that made me smile because
going over the Severn Bridge, we nearly ended up in the Bristol Channel.
But it was typical that it sold then.
Yeah.
Out of any other day it could sell, it sold whilst I was in the car with you after I stole it from under your nose. That made me smile.
A successful sale?
No, but that was the one that made me smile. The first successful one was the Valois Bosch jam preserve tray thing I got from the charity shop about a year ago now. I sold that. I brought it for 10. I sold it for 80 odd pound, I think.
Nice.
That was a good profit. That was like at the very start of reselling, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually something I can actually do. Like I'm not useless at everything.
And yet, even knowing that Villeroy and Bosch is worth buying, you let me buy those 3 new wave saucers because you said they're no good. They haven't got the cups.
And then I stole the other new wave cups from you when we were seeing Jessie. So and I sold them very quickly. So I learned that lesson, and I used that against you.
And then I sent you the screenshot and went, "Ha! Told you so." Carmen reckons she could convert you to gravy. Darren didn't eat gravy until he tried hers. I feel like there's something rude in there somewhere. I'm going to move on.
Do you have a sex dungeon at
Gravy
all, Karen?
boys to the yard. Peter Ray says, "What's your favourite thing to cook?"
Cake. Anything cake. Love sweet things. Love dessert. Cake.
Oh, Civic Eagle's come in with a proper grown-up question. What are your business targets for the next 6 months? I think you have to do 2 sets, aren't you? You have to do a kind of, if things stay the same, then my business target is so-and-so. Or if things zip back to normal, then my business targets would be so-and-so.
Okay, so if things stay as they are now in lockdown, profits are actually, apparently according to eBay, on the up. So if they keep steady around this period, I need to at least double my income to be comfortable, living comfortably. Obviously, I've got a lot of expenditures coming up. The new car, new insurance is coming out soon. I got to get like new internet and stuff. So my expenditures are going up, and at the moment it covers that, but I have no spending money at all. So comfortably, I want to double my profit in the next 6 months. And then if things go better or they go worse?
If things magically got back to normal.
Okay, so if they magically got back to normal, I would want to at least triple my profit because I think that would be possible. So aiming for double, triple is like a bonus.
Do you, if it all went away, if magic happened, it all went away, and car boots were back on from this Sunday, do you intend to increase your spending on how you used to spend?
Yes, I would comfortably say I would start kicking my backside into gear and forcing myself to spend double or triple what I spend now, because
As much as £4.
No, so it'd be at least 6 to 10, like, double or triple, like not over 10 yet. Oh, we haven't got just there. But no, I physically cannot make reselling work unless I buy more.
Yes. It's funny you should say that, because I feel like I have said that to you. Pretty much their exact sentence.
Year and a half. But I don't know if any other resellers are like this, if maybe they're doing it part-time. I'm not, but my expenditures are very low. You don't really feel like, how do I explain this nicely? You have an income and you're like, oh, this is great. I've got an income. It's paying my bills. I don't need to worry about anything. And then you actually sit down and look at it and you go, this income is absolutely rubbish. Like, I shouldn't be proud of this income. I should be disappointed. Like, yes, it pays my bills, but that isn't a good income. And that's kind of where I am now. But I think lockdown has made me reflect a lot more on that than I used to. So yes, I'm very happy with being able to pay all my bills and my expenditures, but that isn't a comfortable income for me to live off.
That's the thing.
Yeah, it's not growth, and it's not...
Maintenance is not growth.
It gets me by, but that isn't what I want from reselling. It has to be a proper full income job at the end of the year. And that, I don't say it a lot, but I do have a promise to myself that if I'm not earning a full-time income by, October or November, I will go and get another job. I will quit reselling, because physically it's not going to work out. If I can't make it work, it's not going to work.
Fair enough. Ashley wants to know if you've ever modelled.
No, I have been offered, but I'm not comfortable with that kind of stuff.
I think you're talking about a different kind of stuff. Intelligent Zombie wants to ask you the classic dinner party question. Which 5 celebrities would you invite, dead or alive, to your dinner party?
Margaret Thatcher. No, joking. No, that was just a one color. I can't remember her name. The lady who played Princess Leia. What was her name? The chat knows Princess Leia, the character from Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher. I'd invite Carrie Fisher. Do they have to be dead?
No, dead or alive.
Oh, good. Carrie Fisher. I would invite Gwendoline Christine. She was in Game of Thrones and she's in Star Wars as the silver clone trooper. Gwendoline Christine. I'm butchering her name. I wouldn't mind Sophie Turner, who was also in Game of Thrones. She's quite interesting.
I've never watched Game of Thrones.
Oh, you're missing out, but I won't get started.
It's got a lot of gore, a lot of gore and violence, which is just not my bag.
A lot of nudity as well.
Not my bag.
Billie Eilish, which I think would surprise people, but she's similar age to me, but she's just a really interesting character, very mysterious. She doesn't talk a lot about herself. And the Queen. I really do admire the Queen, so I would definitely invite the Queen.
I can see how far back I am in the chat, because Double Karma asked about an hour ago, with filler bag, where do you get that from? And she put via Carla Jenkins. You don't get filler bag from me. It gets filler bag from the car boot sale. We have a filler bag guy at our car boot sale. Who
must be swimming in stock at the moment.
Yeah. Well, no, because all the charity shops are shut, aren't they? And that's where he gets his stock.
Oh, yeah, that's where he gets most of it, true.
Everything's stopped.
But then if everyone is piling up donations to the charity shops...
The charity shops are going to be horribly overwhelmed when they reopen. Gashead wants to know which famous person would you like to be, and Nick's pointing out there's been several wars, but I'm assuming it was World War II that you were talking about that you wouldn't mind going back to and learning about.
Yeah, World War II, period.
Let's go back to last Tuesday. Apparently, that was good.
So which celebrity yard?
It was which? Oh God, I've lost it. Gashead, where was it? It was which famous person would you like to be?
I don't know enough famous people to work that out. Who do I actually admire? That's hard, because I like I said, admire the Queen a lot. So could I say the Queen?
I suppose you can, but could you live with Philip?
No, but she has a very interesting history and stuff.
She might not be. She might only watch things like Celebrity Love Island and whatever. She might not be. Just because she's old, don't mean she's interested in history.
Do you not watch The Crown?
That doesn't. You realise she didn't write it, don't you?
No, but some of it's like based on truth, and
The Crown is based on the Queen's life.
Or-
Yeah, but that doesn't mean the Queen gives a shit about it.
I just think the Queen is. I want what would ideally someone who's on the older spectrum, like Dame Maggie Smith. Let's go with Dame Maggie Smith. I admire her a lot.
She looks fun.
She's an incredible actor, and she's obviously done a huge lot in her life, and she'd be.
And she's not married.
Story after story. Yeah, she's not married.
So that's a win. Intelligent Zombie wants to know, what advice would you give your past self?
Oh, that's a very good one. Personally or business-wise, or both?
Let's have both. Why not?
Okay. Personally, it's don't let people mess with you too long.
Well, that's not going to continue to mess with you as long as we want.
I mean, like relationship-wise, don't let people try and worm their way in and out, because you're always going to end up being hurt. And I've learned that the hard way more than once. Just always put yourself first. If people can't, work with that, you being you, just forget about them, move on. And then business-wise, what would I say? It's probably try and be more organized. Try and just get things slightly better planned. Maybe, I should have done a bit more research into things before jumping on different bits and bobs. Maybe should have looked at something other than reselling, maybe wholesale, like Amazon FBA. Like, I didn't do a lot of research. I just went straight into eBay, jumped straight in, haven't done anything else. So, yeah, maybe I would say slow down for my past self on the business front.
Nick wants to know your favourite Lego minifig ever.
Oh.
I'm glad he's not asking me that question, because they're all the same.
Do I have it here? That's the question.
While you're looking, Lex wants to know the Queen doesn't write the Crown, she writes EastEnders.
Oh, does she? No, I don't have it here. I don't actually.
Why do you have a favourite Lego minifig? Let me go, this is my favourite.
I like any of the Star Wars stuff. I really like the Star Wars stuff.
This actually is my favourite pencil.
I have a pencil somewhere. I scribbled it.
This is my eBay pencil.
Oh, mine's a HB. Yeah.
It's an eBay pencil and there's sunflower seeds in the top here. Apparently.
Oh.
But I'm not quite sure what I'm meant to do to plant them. I don't know if I have to. Surely I'm not meant to plant my pencil, am I?
How would you get an eBay pencil? Where's my eBay pencil?
It came from eBay.
eBay, if you're watching this, I want a pencil.
They sent me, just me, because I'm special, kind of, I think it was at Christmas. I think we had a little Christmas pack, and I think it had a pop socket in that you put on the back of your phone, which I tried for 2 seconds.
Oh, you put it on your live stream, didn't you? I think your vlog. A pop socket and a pencil and a notepad, wasn't it?
Possibly a notepad, but if so, I've lost that. But I think Nick and Andrea had one, so perhaps they know what I meant to do with my pencil and plant my sunflower seeds. Maybe they know that. Okay. Intelligent Zombie wants to know if you've ever done drag. She thinks you'd make a pretty woman.
No, I have not. I like drag a lot. I do watch Drag Race and I do support drag queens and stuff, but no, I'm not a drag artist.
Lainey wants to know what are your plans for the long term. You want a house, don't you?
I would love to buy a house, but business-wise, my business name is JD Network because I plan to have a network of businesses. I don't plan to just have one. I want a couple of established businesses as a network collective. So I've kind of got that now with eBay and BritLink. That's 2 businesses in the network. I would like to add at least like a actual brick and mortar store someday.
Okay. There was another one. Oh, Steve would like to know. This is a very serious question. Who's your favourite reseller from Wolverhampton with the initials S and G?
See, I don't know anyone with S and G. I know a Mr. Pork Scratching. Is that maybe?
Yeah, I think that might be.
Mr. Scratchings, was it? Mr. Pork? I can't remember. Maybe it was something like that. So no, that person, Steve. But I
And
don't know
Jake
anyone who's S and J.
choose an era to be born rather than this one. Which one? He did say he wouldn't mind living through the Second World War, so he's going to go back to the 40s, apparently.
I wouldn't like to be evacuated though. maybe just after.
You might like it if somebody was threatening to drop a bomb on you.
I think I would like to be born in the 80s, maybe, or the 70s, so I could live through the 80s, because everyone says it's like the best era ever, and
80s,
obviously I was.
70s were a bit shit, but the 80s weren't bad.
Yeah, but if I was born in the 70s, I'll be 10 by the time the 80s kicked around, and then I'd be like old enough to enjoy it, maybe.
I was there, remember? Yeah, the 70s were very brown and orange, and everything was a bit shit, and the lights kept going out. The 80s were a bit better. But then I wonder if the 80s seemed so bloody brilliant because the 70s had been so shit. Maybe it was just the comparison factor.
Maybe. No, I was born at quite a boring time, the 1990s. 1999.
Sarah says, what do you buy to resell but decide you can't possibly part with?
Shirts.
How many check shirts do you now own?
Hang on, I can just there's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's loads more in the wash. Oh, there's one here. That's my washing pile of clean stuff I need to sort out. There's one there. I had one on. Oh, there's 2 down here, 3 down there.
On the floor.
I've got loads. I have no space, honestly. I've got
no space left. Poorly organised space is what you have. Poorly organised space.
But I know where everything is. That's the crazy thing. People go, it's a mess. Like, yeah, but if you ask for something, I know exactly what it's under, where it is, which drawer it's in, where it is. Like, I know where I keep my stock.
Steve says he doesn't smell like pork. He smells like Paco Rabanne. Porco Rabanne or something. Porco bacon.
Yeah.
Porco bacon.
Porco bacon.
Okay, if you could hire a carbon copy employee of yourself, would you? So it's going to be, it's going to be exactly like you in every way.
No, because I am the laziest human being in the world. And you know it, because I post occasionally in our group chats that I don't get out of bed until 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
At 5:15 in the evening goes, morning, have I missed it?
Last night I didn't go to sleep until 6 a.m. because I'm just wide awake. My body, I'm pretty sure I have a delayed sleep cycle or something. Definitely need to go get it checked with the doctor eventually. But sleep for me just doesn't process. I can have 2 hours sleep one night and I'm still wide awake the next night and the night after that and the night after that. I just don't need sleep, apparently. But then when I do sleep, I sleep all day. So, yeah, no, never would copy myself. I am useless getting out of bed early. Like getting up out of bed for Hermes collection at the moment is a pain. Like dragging myself out in my pajamas, like messy hair, looking like a steak, going, here you go. I'm a nightmare at listing. I don't do a lot of listing because I don't buy a lot of stock. That might be why. If I don't need to, if I don't buy a lot, I don't list. I
said it's a good job this is not a job interview because I wouldn't hire you.
I know. So I don't do a lot of listing. I love photography. I don't mind drafting and I don't mind packaging. It's just the buying and the listing that I am not too keen on. And Lego. I love Lego. I list Lego all day, every day.
I love the buying. I absolutely love shopping. I love, that's my favorite bit. And then I don't mind listing. I hate photographing. Hate it.
Really?
You and I should go into business together.
You do that part of it and I'll do all the photographing.
Yeah.
But what do you not like about photographing? Have you actually explained this?
Everything. Bearing in mind that the majority of what I sell is clothing. I hate putting things on the mannequin, taking things off the mannequin, putting things on a hanger, taking things off a hanger.
It's all the steps to do.
16 different angles, turning it down, but I hate everything. Getting the light right. I hate everything about photographing. I don't mind photographing the small stuff. I get my plastic light box down and I fire through the small, but I hate photographing clothes. Hate it.
See, for me, on a hanger, back a door, done. I'm just the laziest lifter.
I sell my stuff.
Yeah, I don't sell, really. That's why I don't earn any money.
And no, in fairness, my photos are shite. Joan says, would you rather be 3'7" or 7'3"?
3'7". That'd be so much fun. You wouldn't be able to reach anything, but just seeing the world from a different perspective would be so interesting.
You would just be face to face with people's groin all the time. Mind you, I suppose, yeah.
It's not an issue.
So as long as they're clean people, but not everyone.
An easy job sorted, easy service.
Not everyone washes.
True.
That says you're fired. I'm actually a really nice employer. Here's a news flash.
Okay.
I am actually, when I am a manager or an employer, I am actually bloody lovely. I am a surprisingly good employer because I loathe being employed. So I take all the things I hate about being employed and I work on that and go, right, let's make sure that people don't hate being employed by me. I give myself credit where it's due for that one.
So would you see yourself as like the nice manager that everyone goes to for issues?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've never had any problem with getting people to do what's been needed and what I wanted from them because I always respect what they need and want from me in return.
Mm.
And I have worked for some shocking managers in the past, so I know what not to be.
So have I. We're in the same boat on that one. I'm no longer a chef because I fell out with my boss / owner.
Lex wants to let you know that the house next door is going for 200k now.
Oh, that's cheap.
That's not bad. It's a bit.
That's very cheap.
Kath says, have I got a lazy Susan for my mannequin? I have not, Kath. It's not turning the mannequin that's the issue. I just hate everything about photographing. I hate it. I hate it.
Mm.
Yeah, I just loathe it.
There should be like a machine that does it for you. You just give it to the machine, it just photographs it and done.
Rowan says I'm bloody lovely all the time, and she keeps telling me that. The thing is, Rowan, that you live in California and I live here, and that's why you don't know that I'm not lovely. I can be lovely for an hour at a time on the internet quite easily.
Rowan's sort of collective group of information about how nice we are here is quite small if it's just YouTube.
We've only got what we give you to go on here.
Yeah, you don't have the thugs and the gang members and all that, all those bad people on YouTube.
Rowan says it's crap being a short ass, and she'd know because she's about 2'6".
Is it that bad? You'd have to live it to feel it, wouldn't you? Like to see how it is.
So, yeah. Okay, you and I are charity shopping, and I bring to you, let's say it's a nice studio pottery because you have the knowledge there where I don't. And I say to you, Josh, shall I buy this? And you look at it and you go, oh my God, that's a really, really good thing she's found. Do you tell me, oh my God, yes, buy it now, that's fantastic? Or do you go, nah, it's shit, make me put it back and wait and go back for it later?
I'll tell you to buy it, but I would say if it doesn't sell, don't blame me. Because I hardly trust myself half the time.
The Le Creuset pot, you mean, when you picked it up and went to me, Carly, you've missed this? Is that the kind of...
Yeah, but I had my hand on that, so that's slightly different. I actually touched that, so...
I'll give it, it's not the same.
So if you have the studio pottery in your hand, that's technically yours because you found it. So if it's just on the shelf, it's whoever grabs it first, and that would probably be me. So... No, I would tell you how much I think it's worth, and knowing you'd end up giving it to me anyway. That's just how me and you work. You just go, Josh, buy it. You need stock, buy it.
It's breakable. I hate packing it. You buy it.
In charity shops now, like, that's good. Buy it. There you go. Have this.
Karin's telling tales on me. She's saying Rowan or Carla's really mean to me. I am. I'm very mean to Karin. I'm very, very mean to Karin. Very mean to Josh. Occasionally, I have to apologise to Karin because I realise I've been unnecessarily mean. Occasionally, I say, Karin, I'm sorry. I've ripped your head off, and you did not deserve that. Sorry about that.
I'm just used to it by now. I don't need the apology. I'm used to it.
There are some days I just can't. The other day we started a conversation about Thatcher and you said something.
Oh, I felt bad about that, yeah.
We have this conversation, we'll fall out. So I just typed up in our chat, I was like, Josh, I can't have this conversation today. And he popped up then in a side chat and went, is everything okay? I was like, yeah, it's fine. But I just know that if we have this conversation today, I will say things I can't unsay. So today's not a good day for this.
No,
We're very viewpoints, Josh and I.
Yes, but I know when I've upset someone, and I usually just shut up then. And
no,
it
wasn't that you had upset me. It was just that I knew that I wasn't. It's some days we can have that conversation. It will be banter. It'll be fine. And I just knew that I wasn't in banter zone that day. I was in, you're a prick, Roz.
Yeah, usually I'm pretty good. If someone tells me like a warning, I usually just shut up and change topic. And happy days, we move on. Kittens galore. Yeah,
Karen says it's rubbish being short because you can never reach stuff and children always want to measure their heights against you.
Oh, that's got to be bad.
Look at the little lady, Mummy.
How old are you? You're 30. Oh, I'm 10 and I'm taller than you.
Oh, dear.
That'd be so demoralizing. Like little 10 and 12-year-olds being taller than you.
Children are brutally honest as well, aren't they? I've never forgotten it. I mean, it's not like it's left me with a scar, but I've never forgotten walking up the road one day, probably definitely more than 20 years ago, because I didn't live in this house. Walking up the road a few yards in front of a mother with a small child, and the small child saying to the mother in a really loud voice, "Mummy, hasn't that lady got a massive bottom?" I just looked round and I'm so sorry. And I'm going, it's true. I have got a massive bottom. But honestly, you could see this woman going, oh my God.
Just all the life just drained out of her immediately. And the kid just doesn't know what they've done. They're like, what? What have I done?
She has got a massive bottom. I have. It's true.
Keep digging that hole. But you don't care. That's the great thing I love about you, is you just don't care.
Apparently no sentences are working. I'm not saying that I am bomb-proof. Obviously people have said things over the years that have hurt horribly, and you don't ever forget them. But from a little kid, it's not meant hurtfully. So you don't take that on board and cry about it. You know what I mean? You go, I have got a massive bottom. It's just a little kid being honest, But yeah, you're not bomb-proof, and being fat means you're the last available target, really, because we were saying this to somebody the other day. I think it was Sue that we were having a chat with, and Sue was saying, how come people get away with saying things about fat people, and they don't get you don't get away with racism and stuff like that. And I think it's because there's an element in people's minds that fat people have done this to themselves. So you are fat because you choose to be. Obviously, you don't choose your skin color, you don't choose your sexuality, you don't choose whether you're disabled or not. Those things are just who you are. So they're not a choice that you're making. Whereas I think people still take the point of view, well, you could, that's a choice you've made. These are decisions you've made yourself, and therefore you can be held to account for them. And sometimes people's method of holding you to account is ridicule. This has gone a bit off piece, doesn't it?
No, I get your point. Calling someone fat is like a last resort insult in my head. Like, that's, if someone says someone's fat, that generally means they've got nothing else to say, and they're just trying to think of something quickly to splur out of their mouth to cause a fuss. Like,
Still 6 years, my nanny always kept a banana handy in case I blurted something. I just
I always had the threatening of my mouth be washed out with soap and water. So I was well behaved as a child, I think.
Genuinely did that in the 70s as well. They put fairy liquid in your mouth. Speaking of putting fairy liquid in your mouth, when you're in the kitchen and you're cooking and you get something sticky on your hand and you lick your fingers? I did that earlier on, but I just loaded the washing machine and it was washing liquid. Learn that. One last question, because we're actually over the hour. Intelligence. What is the one thing, not car booting, that you miss at the moment?
Carla and Lex.
Oh, bless you. We miss you too. I didn't think I would. I was like, oh, thank God, we ain't got to see Josh anymore. And funnily enough, we do miss you. We can't wait to get back to.
I miss the car, like meeting at the car boot. Saying hello in the mornings, going for breakfast. I could do with a nice fry up. I really could. Yeah. Going out for food when Lex is over. Going out for days out when Lex is round. Just that to me is something I used to look forward to. Going for lunch with you lot is something I used to look forward to. It's that social aspect that you kind of take for granted at the time, but when it's not there, you really do realize just how much it impacts your week, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. I don't know the next verse, so that's what you're getting.
So yeah, and then my birthday, obviously we're going to do huge big things for my birthday when it's all over.
Josh has had his 21st in lockdown, so we've put it on ice. It's it's gonna happen. You're having
popped in the freezer, we defrost it later.
Yeah. Shiv says, thank you, Josh, you're such a sweetie. I want to pat your head for some reason. I should have known what hair you just bounce off. His head's about 8 foot down.
Yeah. Next time you see me, it might all just be shaved off. I might have just given up.
Store 69 says, an American black guy on Twitter says, hey ladies, if Adele can lose weight, so can all of you. I asked him why he was president. I'm not sure if did I not make any sense of that? You might have to explain that to me still, because apparently I'm not firing all cylinders. Lainey says, I answered the door once when David was with me. He was about 6, and before the salesman said anything, he said, wow, your nose is huge. I felt awful. Right.
It's just so brutally honest. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm brutally honest, but and I
So
don't
am
get
I.
it because I'm not
So
cute
am I.
to go with it.
That's
Right.
part of my personality. I like being truthful, and I'm not going to lie to your face. If I don't like you, I'll tell you I don't like you. And if I enjoy your company, I'll tell you I enjoy your company. I'm very open and honest.
I said we're looking forward to getting back together again, aren't we?
Yes, definitely. Straight away.
Like shoo up, shoo waddy waddy, yippity dingy dang.
2 meter distance though, but other than that,
You make lunch interesting. You sit over there. I'll be at what table are you at? Well, I'm at 16. I'm at 22.
we can like Zoom whilst we're at the different tables. Get each other on.
Oh, I asked him why he wasn't president. That makes more sense. Still, I was a bit puzzled by that. I was like, have I misread it? I asked him why he wasn't president. If it's just a question of deciding, then why aren't you president? Okay. Thank you so much to Josh for stepping in and being a fabulous headless reseller.
You're welcome. It's been fun.
Well done to all of you for getting him so quickly. And I will be. Oh, there's something coming out tomorrow. I think it might be Q&A coming out tomorrow. I'm not sure. That might be the day after. I don't know what day it is.
Wednesday tomorrow, I think.
It comes out tomorrow, and then there's something else Saturday, and then it's me and Lex Sunday morning. Wake up with Lex and Carlo on Sunday morning, and and I'm live on Caroline's channel on Saturday, I think.
Ooh.
I don't know what time. She's probably told me what time, and I've forgotten, but I'll be there because she'll remind me. It'll be fine. Oh, and Chris wants to know: are you doing a live opening of these clothes when they arrive?
Yes, I'll go live. It should be here tomorrow or the next day.
If you're not already,
whichever day is the next day.
Josh, go and find him. His channel is JD Network Reselling. JD Reselling Network. Why do I still not know that? JD Network Reselling.
JD space network space reselling.
I will link it underneath.
I'll put a comment as well, so I think people can do that.
So yeah, if you're not already subscribed, why? Where are my sentences? How many subs are you on?
631.
It would be lovely if we could get you to 1,000, wouldn't it? That'd be fabulous.
Would. I would shave my head if I got to 1,000.
I think we need Adrian on the case.
Adrian? Where is Adrian? Adrian? Why is he not here?
With Rod at 10 o'clock tonight, if anybody's about to watch that. Oh, 50th Seller Ladies. I knew there was something else. Sorry, Karen. On Friday, it is the 50th episode of Seller Ladies Live. So that's at 2 o'clock. It's on Karen's channel. Make sure you tune into that. I don't know what the plan is. I'm out of the loop. But yes, so make sure you watch that. And I think I've said everything I need to say. Thank you so much to Josh. You've been a star. We'll say goodbye to the chat, and then I'll say goodbye to you afterwards. Thank you, chat. Love you all.
Bye, chat.
Have a fun evening. Oh, and Peter Ray's live at 8:30. Off you go to there. Bye.
Bye.
Awkward wave. Awkward wave. Awkward wave.